Hello again, and welcome to episode 13 of our Neuro-affirming social skills stories with me, Evaleen Pelton. And we are using our Konnect books, but you don't need the books. You can just take notes as we go along if that's okay. If you are using the books, we've moved on to Konnect 3 now to discuss some of the topics that we use in that book. I'm going to skip ahead to page 8 of that book, and we talk about being equal. Now, this is a difficult topic, obviously, to broach with young people, but I do have that running out throughout these books, also embracing my neurodivergence, because it's an important topic really to talk about. So from many angles, because autistic kids are not treated as equal a lot of the time. So today we're just going to look at what it means to be autistic and to have a different outlook or a different way of interacting that's kind of more egalitarian than a social hierarchy, because this is where a huge amount of miscommunication issues happen, because lots of people are operating within a social hierarchy. And when you operate within a social hierarchy, there's loads of rules and loads of different things that in different ways that people communicate that don't apply if you're taking an egalitarian approach to your communication and you don't see a hierarchy. You don't see people as more important or less important. You just see people as equal. Your communication is going to be very different because of that. So, for example, let's say there's a really popular kid, and the popular kid wears a certain pair of shoes. Then all the other kids want to be like the popular kid, so then they all get that pair of shoes, so that they are then, trying to be part of this group, part of the social hierarchy, not be left at the bottom, trying to be somewhere up here. That might not be important to you. You mightn't even care or register what shoes people are wearing. And then people might mock you for that. So also what happens within a social hierarchy is people might other you so they won't be othered themselves. And this is all very difficult and, quite complicated stuff, I suppose, for children to get their heads around, for adults to get our heads around. But it is really important that we start, talking about the stuff with autistic kids and their peers, because there are differences when you operate within a social hierarchy and you don't. And I think what we do is we start talking about this and this idea of like best friend, best friend, best friend, on the levels of friendship. Whereas some of us might just want a friend and be happy with friends and not have these levels of friendships. So talking about this with children, first off, is explaining what a social hierarchy is and looking at the different ways that can affect people's communication. It also means that in a group, people will follow the leader, all of that kind of stuff. People will respond to that person more than they respond to somebody down the lower levels of the social hierarchy. Talk about it, explain it, because it demystifies a lot of stuff that's going on. And I mean, if kids are in school, a school is a really good example of a social hierarchy, where you have the principal, the teachers, maybe teaching assistants, you might have like other staff, and then you have the kids at the bottom. And that's how schools generally work. A lot of schools, and not all schools, there are some fantastic schools who've got different models, but it's a good example to use. It's quite typical of a school situation. And maybe you could start there and discuss that. Then, talk about what it means to be autistic, and then not operate within a social hierarchy. And then how does that make you feel, and how does it make you see other people, and what happens when you respond to people with this outlook but other people respond to you with their social hierarchy look, and what can we do about that? How can we work through this miscommunication? Because this is what this program is about. It's about communicating, and it's about working through miscommunications without saying these people are wrong for operating within the social hierarchy, these people are wrong for operating this way. We just operate in different ways, and people should have a choice in whatever way they want to operate. And how do we break this down? How do we work together to avoid miscommunication? And that's basically it. So, I have here on this page, autistic people also see everyone as equal. Lots of people say they do, but in reality, they may not be very good at it. For example, do you think adults see kids as equal? Do adults listen to children, or do they sometimes make decisions without asking kids? Because autistics are sensitive, we see other people as equal to us. But a lot of places in the world are based on what we call a hierarchy. In a hierarchy, some people are seen as more important than others. An example of this is in some schools where teachers are seen as more important than the other staff, and then the children are at the very bottom of the hierarchy. It can be very difficult to navigate or make your way in a system like this when you see everyone is equal. Sometimes autistic kids are told they're cheeky when they question an adult. This happens often. Has this ever happened to you? And there's your discussion point. Here's where you find out, is this happening to this child, and what can we do about it if it is? This happens sometimes because people believe in hierarchies. People who believe in hierarchies don't understand autistic kids and autistic perspectives. We can communicate with others in a way that shows we're on the same level, but then other people don't appreciate this because they believe there are different levels. It's all very confusing, and it can make us feel like the world is very unfair, and perhaps it is. So then we have some space for, you to write or to talk to the kid, or whatever way this kid wants to, sing or dance or make a song, or, make something, a rap about it, whatever way they want to express this. We've just left some lines in the book. You can do this whatever way you want. It's important, to express what this is like, what it feels like when someone does misinterpret you or treats you in this way, says you're cheeky, when you're just really communicating from your perspective, from your way of communicating, or through your way of communicating. What does that feel like when people misinterpret you and judge you? And here's the space to have this really, really important discussion. So thank you so much for joining me for episode 13. As I said, if you're enjoying the series, you'd like to know more, I have 6 books in total. They're all available on awesometraining.com. One book is on Amazon, that's Standing Up for Myself, which is for autistic kids and teens from 9 to 15-ish, all about boundaries and consent, and lots of really important stuff in there. Or if you're really invested in becoming a neuro-affirming therapist, I have a 5-day Get Connected course where we really delve into all of this stuff and provide you with so much information and so many strategies and so many tools. I'm just writing our guidebook at the moment as part of that course for anybody who is running groups. Because there's lots of clashes that happen in groups, there's lots of things we have to take into account. And I've been doing stuff for 20 years. I love sharing my experience with people. I love offering things that I found helpful. So if that's for you, check it out, awesometraining.com. You'll get all your info. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's episode and if you have found that helpful. Thank you so much.